How y'all doing? It's Wednesday, halfway through the week, baby. By the time you see this evening, sheesh, man, the only thing we got is Thursday and Friday to go, and you know Friday's easy. We'll be right back in the weekend. Hey, you like this one? It says impeach Trump. You're fired. That's what we want to tell him, and that's what we're going to do. We're going to fire his ass. The President Trump is no longer welcome in our house. President Trump. I like that, Donna. Thank you very much. Anyway, what's going on in the news? Well, we know what's going on in the news. It's all about tomorrow's testimony. Comey, the ex-head of the FBI, is going to testify. But a little bit came out today, and we're getting a little taste of what he's talking about. Evidently, the old boy kept meticulous notes. And that's a good thing. You know, when you're in a position like his, speaking to a turd like that, well, you want to remember what the turd said. Anyway, the turd told him, he said, I need loyalty and I expect loyalty. Now, Trump's not talking about loyalty to America. We talked about this before. Trump's talking about loyalty to Trump. To Trump. Not to anything else. Screw anything else. He wants that loyalty to him. He demands it, I understand. So, anybody working around him, I guess, has to pledge their loyalty to the Donald. And, but he did. He told Comey about the Flynn investigation that he should let it go. Let it go. Sounds like obstruction of justice to me. Or the attempt of obstruction of justice. It doesn't matter whether or not Comey took the advice or not. It doesn't matter. Once the words came out of Donald's mouth, that's obstruction of justice. What you going to do about that shit now? No, Donnie has an out here. Donnie can, if he wants, produce those tapes that you was talking about, Donnie. Then there won't be any quarrel about what Comey said or what you said. And we can get this all behind us. So just go ahead and release them tapes there, Donnie Dick. Anyway, you know, the act of firing Comey was the ultimate culmination of obstruction of justice. That act right there, although it is fact true that the FBI director serves at the pleasure of the President. Anyway, I hate saying that word, so Donnie gave me another word. Anyway, that was the ultimate obstruction when he fired Comey. Now he's got some guy, Christopher Wray. I'm supposed to trust any person that Donald Trump puts in the head of the FBI because whatever it is, whoever it is, I'm sure had to go through the loyalty question test and do the pledge, probably bend over and all that other crap before Donnie would let him anywhere near the FBI, and he damn sure probably has to agree to slow down or stop any investigation into Trump for any reason at all. And I'm pretty sure that's probably the way it went. That's my personal belief, but he's a scumbag, so yeah, that's what I think. Anyway, the shirt that was sent to me by Kim Szabo. Szabo. And she had a time getting this thing to me. She's from Twinsburg, Ohio, and she sent it, and it didn't get here. So she had to track it down, and they tried again, didn't get here. She tracked it down again and had it sent to her, which she packaged it up and sent it down to me. So this shirt made a little round trying to get to me, and she was concerned the whole time. But Kim, it got here, baby, and I'm glad to have it on. And we need to impeach this guy. And she also included a letter in there, and it speaks volumes about where we are. Her son Zachary was diagnosed with leukemia at 17 months old, and had to endure 3.5 years of chemotherapy. Now, they have insurance through her husband's job. He's a machinist, but up there in Ohio, turnover rate's pretty high up there right now for machinists, and she's concerned about losing her health insurance, and as well she should be, and because we all are. She told me that, and that they lost their first home because they had to make a choice between making a house payment and paying for the medication that keeps her kid alive. Well, we've talked about that down here before. The choices that people have to make in this country between what your health insurance costs, or other insurance. Your house insurance has gone up. Your car insurance has gone. Everything's gone up. Fees keep going up, and your paycheck ain't doing nothing. And there's choices that have to be made. And they had to make one, and that was rough. I've had to make them choices. They're not easy. They're not easy at all. But she's worried that if the ACA gets repealed and they lose their health insurance, that their son may not be able to get the medication that he needs because he has a pre-existing condition. You know how that shit goes. And she's afraid of the future. And we all need to be, because we all need to be concerned about what's going to happen in the future. What happens to our kids? And what happens to their kids, our grandchildren, on down the line, our future, this planet, the whole 9 yards. There's people involved. There's people that care. And that's what Kim has to know, is that there's a lot of us. There's more of us out here that care than don't care. When I stop thinking of Lorraine Dooley, when she was young, marched with Martin Luther King and had a life full of service, of activity, trying to make things better. And that's all of us we can do. That's what Kim's trying to do now. That's what I'm trying to do now. But we're getting old. But like we talked about yesterday with them kids in that school, there's young kids now stepping up. They're learning. They're listening. They're going to be active in politics because they're learning this crap from a young age. When they have to put up with a dick that's in our office, in our house, that is trying to ruin everything this country ever stood for, well, those young children are going to be the ones, like Lorraine, marching up through their life, and they're going to remember this, and they're going to be voters in the future. So let's hold tight. We have to teach them kids, because we don't want them ending up like Trump. You know, I seen where Erick Trump was on the Sean Hannity show, and what's he out there talking about? Well, he's just letting the world know that Democrats are not even people. We're not even people to him. I don't know what he thinks of me. Probably the same thing I think of him. He's a scumbag. But I feel better about my observations than he could tell about mine. I mean his. But that's what he said. Democrats aren't even people. And he said that he was concerned that morals have flown out the window. Are you shitting me? Did you listen to your daddy during all that crap during the convention? Did you hear your daddy when they played that tape about grabbing a woman down there, or doing or I came on to her like a bitch because, oh, I'm rich and I can do it? Did you remember hearing your daddy say all that shit, Erick? Morals out the window? Yeah, your daddy threw him out the window long before you came along into his life, buddy. It's a continuous habit of his. Erick says America deserves better. Yes, we do, Erick. We deserve a whole lot better than your scum-sucking daddy up there. That lying asshole that every day comes out here and proves himself to be more of an idiot every day. But he thinks America deserves better, and I agree with him. You know, it's he said I've never seen hate like this before. Are you shitting me, you little asshole? Don't you remember your daddy all that time talking about Obama's birth certificate and all that shit? All that crap that the right gave Obama for 8 years, calling him everything in the book, demoralizing everything. Jesus, are you kidding me, son? Nobody's listening to your bullshit. You know how come nobody wants to listen to your bullshit, Erick? Because they're finding out you're a thief that would steal from a cancer hospital. No shit, Erick. Erick's foundation, the Erick Trump Foundation, doesn't that sound important for that little rimrod? Anyway, he owns a golf foundation, a golf event there to raise children for St. Jude's Hospital. And, well, of course he uses a Trump facility because it's cheaper, you know. Or it used to be. In 2011, he used to charge $59,000 to have that fundraiser at St. Jude's Christian Hospital. Now, they could have donated that land and that time to that property to St. Jude's, but they didn't do that. No, they didn't. They charged $59,000, pay up. I get it off the top of the donations. That's Erick Trump. But what happened in 2014, latest numbers available, well, that little $59,000 went to $242,000 to rent the property to have the event for St. Jude's Hospital. That's called thieving. That's how you skim that money. That's how come Trump always goes to his golf courses on the weekends. That's how come Erick and Trump and all that scumbag company out there, they always use the Trump properties for anything because, hey, they get free advertising and, you know, all the money that is spent from everything from reporters all the way up to ambassadors. They all have to have accommodations, get something to eat, do whatever they got to do, rent a golf cart, whatever. All that shit and ass money goes to the Donald Trump Foundation, which he uses to pay his little bills and shit. So, yeah, skimming money, really? And redonating to other charities that are run by other Trump family members? Are you shitting me, you little scumbag? You learn real good from your daddy, huh? You just skim that money right off the top there, buddy. Kids with cancer, it doesn't matter to them. Just like the health care doesn't matter to them. None of this shit matters to them. It's about the money. And that's always what it's going to be about with these people. The whole Trump family, that whole disgusting group that spreads their shit all over the place, are trying to squeeze as much money out of this country as they can possibly get while daddy's in the White House. And they're going to take advantage of it every which way they can. And we need to be out to stop that shit. And we need to stop it down there at the low level. Now I see a little story about Karen Handel. Karen Handel, now she's running against John Ossoff over there in Georgia's 6th District. Well, what's in the news in that little story? Well, Karen, she come right out and tell you she's a Republican, baby. This was a direct quote on their debate. I watched it. She said, "I am not for a living wage." That's the sentence, period, right there. And she said that's the difference between conservatives and liberals. You're damn right it is, Karen. Are you ignorant? That's the Republican Party. No, they're not for a living wage. They're for the businessman that can charge more money so he can keep more money. He doesn't give a shit about living wage, and neither does Karen Handel. They're out for the money, baby. And she went on to try to dance around how she explained that statement. No, I don't believe in a living wage. That means that she doesn't think that your ass getting up and going to work and working a 40-hour week should not be enough to be able to sustain you in an appropriate way. No, she wants, that's just like the Republicans, they want your ass starving and begging for help, because then they have you over a barrel. That's the way it's always been with Republicans, people with money. They want your ass over a barrel, so you have to ask them. They want to be a gatekeeper. They want to be the one in charge of you having a life, and that just sucks on that side. Anyway, I seen where Obama and Trudeau up there in Canada. Whoo, buddy, it gets hot in there. Mama told me you should bring your tea down there. Like all them politicians, I don't want to be like Jeb Bush. Anyway, Obama and Trudeau had dinner. It was a nice looking little cafe dinner, nothing too lavish, no gold chairs to sit on, no gold curtains hanging around, just a nice dinner. Man, I would have liked to have been a fly on that wall. I think they got a little chuckle out of President Trump there in all of his trouble. I think so. Anyway, he was up there giving a speech to Montreal and trying to tell the world that this is only a temporary setback. The Paris deal and everything else Donnie Dick Boy is doing is only temporary. That's what he said up there in Canada. And he's right. It is temporary until we get their stinking asses out. And we're working on that every day. So that's about it, people. Let's stay busy out there. Joan Stern, you better pay attention to tomorrow's show there. That's all I'm saying about that. I don't want to talk about nothing else. Just going to say, June, you better tune in tomorrow. I know you might be busy, but I want you there. Anyway, I hope y'all have a great day. Remember, Blue Dots, this is a fight for all of us. Kim needs this help. Her son Zachary needs our help. And children being born today that have problems need our help in the future. So we have to teach our young ones, if they're in middle school and they're protesting, Ryan, encourage that shit on that, because that just shows that they know and they're listening. The more they listen, the brighter future that we have. Education is a great thing. Ignorance is stupid, and them people over on the right just worship ignorance. Anyway, y'all need to stop that, Republicans. Get in the groove over here, baby. Start learning. Get that man out of our house. Anyway, woo, it is getting hot in here. Y'all have a good day. Blue Dots around the world. We love you. And stand together. And because we're winning this fight. Tomorrow's going to be a big show. We'll have a lot to talk about. Anyway, Y'all have a good one. We'll see you later.